Lagos dating is not for the faint-hearted, my dear. Open your eye like this. The thing is, for me, when I came to Lagos, I was very, very naive. So I wore my heart on the sleeve.
Yeah.
You know, I was open-hearted. You know, I would share you. If I meet you now, I can start telling you everything I've been through, my past relationships. Number one, don't start cho. When you meet somebody new, don't start to talk about all the no's, all your life history. You know, you have to get to know them a bit more before you even share one. Make sure you've heard two.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bodied and Mindful. I remain your host, Coach Nikki, and today I have the most beautiful and very talented media personality, Debra Waters.
Hi.
Debra, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. It's so good to be here.
We're going to be delving into the world of mental well-being like we always do. What was growing up like for you?
What was growing up like? I mean, I had quite a chilled background, you know. Dad and mom were available physically, but maybe not mentally and emotionally. So, and growing up now that I'm a bit of an adult, I think it's like an African thing. I'm not sure. African mother, African. So they're there. They're trying to guide you through things. Make sure you're going to school. Make sure you're not following boys. But they're not always available for you emotionally and mentally. Like someone you can talk to. You know, sometimes you want to talk to them, and they don't want to listen, or they don't even understand. They don't have the capacity to understand. Or even if they do, they misconstrue what you're saying, and before you know. I remember telling my mom one time about one boy like that in school. The guy was liking me then, and it was one day how you just play with someone and touch them on their waist, I was like, I felt the type of way. I was like, why is this guy touching my waist playfully? Why is he touching my waist playfully like that? I was feeling like I was a church girl. That I was like, I feel unholy. Like this thing is not nice. Yeah. So I was like, I wanted to talk to someone because I didn't understand what that was. I knew it felt like it wasn't right or something, but it was just playing. Thinking about it, like just school plays and all. So I wanted to talk to someone. I told my mom, I was like, this guy that touched my waist in school, I didn't feel good about it. Like I was almost moved to tears. It's about to tell me what it was. Yeah. And say, just play. Or maybe just be careful or something. Then she goes, so men are not touching your body in school now. I mean, boys are not touching your body in school. Yeah. Wow. You will not be careful. We sent you to school to do blah, 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 blah. And I felt misunderstood. Yeah. And before you know it, my dad heard it. Before you know, they started, looking at me a certain way and all that.
Like you're the bad person.
Yeah, like I'm... So imagine all those small things, as small as they were now, they kind of like shaped who you grew up to be and how you react to, the opposite sex and stuff. So growing up, like I said, they were available physically, but emotionally, I don't think so.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
And I believe there are a lot of people who experience that same thing. And as young girls, I believe that... unfortunately, our parents would only teach us what they know. Yes. And then conversations around sex, our body, and the right attitude towards sex. Yes. I don't know, for some reason, their generation always used to shy away from it. Yes. And unfortunately, that shying away from it and not addressing it led a lot of us into, situations where we now had to start struggling with for so long. So that brings me to my next question. Women are more likely to be sexually abused as kids or as young women. Is it an experience that you've had?
Sexual abuse. would I even call it sexual abuse? I think it's in a way kind of like, sexual abuse, I would say. Why? Because I feel like this thing I'm about to share, I rarely share it really because, it's not like I'm hiding it or anything, but I feel like, I've never really gotten the chance to share an opportunity or a situation that would make me, or a scenario that would make me want to share. But I was doing a research some time ago and I was like, out of 10 or 20 people that you you ask, were you sexually abused as a child, or were you abused in any way as a child? At least maybe 17 or 18 of them would tell you they are either guys or girls. And this is mostly by somebody close to them, a family member, maybe the maid in the house, maybe their stepfather or stepmother. So it's something it's very rampant, but we don't get to actually talk about. People shy away from it. Were you sexually abused? Some people don't want to say because they feel like it's stigmatized. It's something that's been stigmatized. But now, personally, bringing it home, I think we had like it wasn't like a cousin, or we had like, wasn't a cousin per se, but it was somebody, family member growing up then, and it was a guy. And I am the firstborn. I had my younger sister. She's also a girl, 2 girls then, and a boy, I remember. And this guy, as a first child, I didn't know. I think I was about 7 or 8 then. And then you have this uncle, in quotes, locking you guys' door, locking you in the house or locking you in the room, and then doing stuff to you. And doing stuff, I'm not even talking about penetration, it wasn't anything like penetration, but doing stuff like touching you in places inappropriately, And, sadly, thinking about it now, I'm like, sadly, at that situation, at that point where it was happening, it felt good, actually. It really did feel good, But you just knew as a child that there was something wrong, And then when you find out that after all the touching and all, you feel the type of way you step out of the house and of the room, and maybe when mommy and daddy are not around, and then you want to tell mommy and daddy, you're like, well, if I tell them now, what would they think about the situation? And when it happens the first time, it felt really somehow. By the time it was happening the second time, I felt so strongly that, I actually need to tell either mom or dad. But that he would have most likely wanted
intimidate you into silence. Like, that's what they always do.
Don't tell mommy and daddy, don't do that. And as I'm even much more confident. Then I was a really, really timid and shy girl. I really didn't talk at all. Do you understand? And guess what? I do the same thing to my younger sister. So 2 in 1 in this situation. Thank God for my sister. Thank God for, her. My sister is a cho-cho-cho girl. Anything like she go down, immediately she just went. Me, I was still struggling within myself, trying to find, should I not, when should I say, when should I not say? Then she goes and tells my mom. Next thing, my mom calls me and says, "Is brother this thing doing anything like this to you?" I was like, "Yes, so he's doing this." And before you know, she warned him, attacked him. I don't know, a lot of things happened, and he had to literally leave, the space that we were in, because he was also a teenager, funny enough. I think maybe he was about 15 or 16. Yes, but that doesn't excuse anything, because we were minors, you are also a minor, but who knows where you also learned that from. So, I've been sexually abused, or I was sexually abused as a child, which I feel like many youngsters or many Nigerian adults today are a part of, but we're not talking about.
Yeah. So how did you deal with how did it affect you? How did you deal with it?
Okay, so for me, I don't think, because the reaction was very, very prompt. There was consequences for the actions right immediately. So I didn't really feel like, because I was a child still, I was a child. So it wasn't a continuous thing, not something that happened, happened at 10 or happened at 12, happened at, some people, when you start hearing the story, they tell you, he did it to me at 7, then at 15, at 18, then that thing is continuous. So ours was like, it happened, there was consequences for it. We know it was bad. There was no time to think about it and say, okay, maybe I was mentally disturbed. I grew up as a normal child, knowing that that's wrong. Next time when I see that happen, I know how to rush and speak up, or, tell mommy about it, tell daddy about it. But thinking about it, did it really affect my mental health as a child? No. As a teenager, not really. I didn't see that as anything personally. Like, I didn't see that
affecting you.
Yes, affecting me, because the reaction there was consequences. I don't know if you get what I mean. There was consequences for the reaction. So, and I was a child. I wasn't like a teenager. So it didn't really, okay, did it really affect me? Not really. because I still grew up in a healthy environment. But sadly, because it didn't affect me, it doesn't mean that it doesn't affect other people. Yeah. Some people would remember every detail. Inch, every detail. Some people cannot handle all of those things, and move on. Like, personally, I think what I did was that entire thing, I just dumped it somewhere in a box, or maybe threw it away in my head, or mentally, I just dumped it. I didn't feel less of a person. I didn't feel, I didn't feel any of that. Like I said, maybe because I grew up in a healthy environment. Yeah. And
so those factors helped you to... Unfortunately, there are so many young ladies out there, so many young women out there that were not so fortunate.
Yes.
And they've had to struggle for so long.
Yeah.
So this brings me to my next question. Do you think, as a media personality, do you think issues like this are being discussed enough in the media? How do you think the media can, portray this situation? Because it's a serious situation. There are some children who speak up and they are silenced. Sometimes even their parents would silence them and not do anything about their abuser. And then they still see their abusers. So these things are going on. There's this culture of silence, culture of shame. Some people will speak up and still be shamed for it. Someone will speak up for being sexually abused, and then everybody now starts to look at them like, they raped her. What do you think the media can do to, talk about these things more and sensitize parents generally?
Well, interesting. I feel like a lot of people are actually coming out more. Even people like you now are coming to talk about it more. So I think the stigma is being broken day by day. I feel like it's not... Yes, there might be a bit of that stigma around, up and about, or round and about, but people are speaking up more. People like you are, speaking up more. People around are speaking more. Go on social media now. People are talking. Yeah. Nobody is silent anymore. People are talking. If you're not talking, it's on you. If you're not sharing your experience, if you're saying that we saw how this girl was, this Andrew story where they almost, God forbid, used her and stuff like that. And she came out to speak up. Oh, what if this Nikki, the Barbie girl too? I saw that she came out and everybody is talking. So if you're not talking, it's on you, literally. People are talking. You have everything you have to speak up. You have your phones, you have your data. If you can post a picture about yourself, you can also speak about issues. And people are still, like I said, the stigma might still be there, but it's not there as much anymore. So media, I really don't know what the media can do at this point, because it's just to continue to speak up. That's it. Because if you do not tell your story, nobody can tell it for you. If you don't bring it out to the open, it will continue to be in the secret, So and you have everything you have to share. You have everything you have to type, or even if you don't want to be out there, you can speak up to a blog. You can send a message to an activist or somebody who is an advocate, for mental health, or somebody who is an advocate for sexual abuse. So, like I said, if you're not talking, it's on you. You have to ditch all that feeling of stigmatization, because at the end of the day, nobody really, really cares. At the end of the day, people don't really care about stigma or no stigma. In fact, when you come out and talk, that's when they find strength. We saw this Timmy Dakolo's wife who came out and spoke about abuse and stuff like that. Pastor. And you could see all the strengths, all the things that people had to say, all the people that even came out after that. What about R. Kelly? The abuse, how he abused other people. Once one person comes out, everybody starts to follow. So why can't you be that one person that comes out that other people will follow?
It's not so easy. Some people are so traumatized, like I was. It took me 2 decades, over 20 years, to even tell my family. Yeah. So I can understand. Not every child too is assertive. The way your sister was, that she was choo-choo-choo, and then you were quiet. Yeah. What if you didn't do it to your sister? Exactly. And then you had to suffer in silence for so long.
That could have been, that could easily have been the issue. I feel like maybe I could have spoken up, but it might take a while for me to come.
And then by that time, you would have been so traumatized. Yes. And then it would have now trickled into all the other parts of your life.
Exactly. And thankfully, he did not even, maybe would have gotten to the point where he starts to penetrate, and stuff like that. But thankfully, maybe that's why he didn't really, he didn't carry that, he didn't take that weight on me, because, the penetration hadn't started. But imagine if he had started doing that or had allowed that for a while, it could have turned out to be, much more, thankfully, thank God I had a sister like that.
Yeah. So but why do you think people do things like that?
You mean the culprits?
The abuser.
The abuser. Honestly, I wouldn't know, but if I would never be in the shoes of the abuser, but if I were to try to imagine why, they want to do such a thing, I'll probably say maybe the upbringing was wrong. Maybe some kids were not told what is right, what is wrong, what is allowed or what is not allowed. Imagine a young boy like that, probably, in his youthful exuberance stage of exploring. He wants to explore. Yeah, puberty, thank you. He wakes up in the morning, he's hard, he wants to explore. Probably doesn't even know what masturbation is. Probably doesn't know, how can I calm my body down?
He's confused.
Yes, he's confused, and then says, okay, maybe I watch it somewhere or I heard it somewhere that I'll feel, who can I'm always home here, there's nowhere to go. Who can I practice on? And sees a child and says, let me pray on this child. And stuff. So I'm not even trying to see from their perspective, but I'm just trying to say, maybe it's a situation of, I want to explore, and then you don't know what to explore, and then you pick a child that that would easily talk, would be kept to silent easily, and then you start to, portray your thoughts upon the child. So some of these people are probably living in ignorance, I would say. They're living in ignorance, or they had terrible upbringing whereby they don't have, the parents did not bring them up the proper way. Or it could just be that some people are just, they just want to explore. Exactly. They just want to. And it will be important to also not to expose your children or anyone especially to people like that. And even that's just even explaining the situation with my situation. What about people who are adults that are supposed to know? I saw a story of a doctor, I think now he's been arraigned, but a doctor, like a women's doctor, he treats breast and all that. So somebody came out and said, I even know this person personally, somebody came out and said, he's been abusing me, even as a doctor. So if a doctor, somebody who's supposed to know, or if a religious leader, for example, who's supposed to know all these things, do not, or choose to be ignorant, or choose to ignore them and do the things that they really want to do, how much more ordinary people?
Let's move on to the beauty standards and how it affects people. Today, people are doing BBL, people are doing different kinds of surgery to, enhance or change their bodies. Why do you think that is?
Beauty standards. Well, maybe demand. I know some people demand for beauty now. Because I know everybody wants to hear things like, low self-esteem and all, but truthfully, not everybody. Yeah, it could be part of the reasons why, but I don't think everybody, some people you meet them and they're actually really, they have it all together. So it might be low self-esteem, but I also think that the demand for a perfect body out there is crazy. You're gathering with a couple of maybe girls. One of you have the banging body, one of you have the flat. Many guys are trying to hit on that particular one with the banging body and stuff like that, So you're thinking, my friend has this, my friend has that, she's this, she's that. You start to feel a type of way, which takes us back to low self-esteem. Yeah. Or maybe peer pressure. Comparisons. Or comparisons, and then you start thinking, maybe I also can, cash out. The people that do the body mostly are baby girls now, Abby.
Are you not a baby girl?
Am I?
Yeah.
They're baby girls.
Just take a look at you.
Yeah, the baby girl here now. The baby and the girl all in one.
Very good.
Yeah, so lots of us think, but I think maybe the demand for it is, everybody is crazy. It's a rave. It's like fashion now. It's like a new hairstyle. or a new makeup or a new, you want to try it out. I'm left to me. Oh, you want to try it out. So everybody's like the booty, you know, the body.
Meanwhile, people like us, when they say this, they will still abuse.
Share now. Why you share? You have been stingy with all this. So.
If it's possible to share, I would have shared it even to my DP. Abi,
you need to share this goodness.
So Deborah, tell me, have you ever experienced an emotional pain?
Don't we all? Don't we all do?
Okay.
So that one, yeah, boy breaks your heart, or you lose a job, or you don't get what you're looking for, or your expectations are not met. You know, I think we all do in different degrees, don't you think so? We all do in different degrees. Yeah, I have. Work-wise, I have. Relationship-wise, I have too. There's one I experienced very recently. You know, as I'm dating this guy, and next thing, guy just stops talking to me. Or just disappears. We are good, ghosts and just ghosts. Just like that. And we hadn't, you know, so I would have thought, okay, maybe that was why he, you know, disappeared. Disappeared. And it's someone that was already opening up to already. I'm somebody who can be very guarded. So I started opening up to, you know, someone, and then he just disappears like that. And I was really, you know, that place where you don't know what, you don't know why, you don't know when, you don't know anything.
Like you're trying to get closer.
You're trying to understand what is going on. It's your head is just spinning. You're just remembering everything. Like, am I okay? What's going on? So I understand that it's a state of unrest. It's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
You know. And there's one that happened many years ago with my work. You know, I was expecting something to happen. I was gunning for something, and sadly they didn't pick me. Okay. And sadly, and now as an adult, or now that I've grown up a little more, I've now realized that you're not supposed to tie your happiness to a certain result. So I tied my happiness to that result. Like, this result, this is what I want, and I'm going to get it. The ultimate. If I don't get it, I'm gone. So I must get it. So now it happens that I did not get it. So what did I do there? Shut down. I was incapacitated for like 3 days mentally. Wow. You know, I could eat, I could not sleep, but my mental state was crazy. I was crying for days, feeling not enough, you know, feeling sad, feeling small, feeling unhappy. It was not a good place to be, honestly. So yes, I've been in a state of mental, emotional, you know, unwell.
So how did you manage the situation? How do you, or, you know, it's not just a one-time thing. Consequently, we would always we would always, you know, experience failure or setbacks or disappointment. So when you're faced with an emotional stress like that, how do you manage yourself? How do you recenter yourself? How do you get yourself back?
I feel like everybody would face it. The question is in what degree. You know, we heard about the, is it Konga CEO who died?
Took his own life.
Yeah, that was quite unexpected. That was, may his soul rest in peace. That was quite unexpected. That's I don't know what caused it, but that's probably some degree of unrest for you to jump down your balcony and say you want to take your life. You can imagine the amount of pain it must have been in internally. For you to say, I am overwhelmed and I'm in pain, I need to take my life, or I'm tired, I'm done. So it's in what degree? It's in various degrees. So how did I come out of it? Thankfully, I know how to find my strength in solitude. So I just maybe read. I watch a lot of videos, you know, videos that self-help videos, personal development videos. So anytime I start to feel down like that, and it's not a good place to be. Imagine you can't be like that if you start to feel the second day, third day, and you're still like that, you need to ginger yourself back, because you keep going down. The
longer you stay in that state,
you just sucks you in. It just keeps sucking you into that hole, and you're just there. So I wake up myself, literally. I start to watch, you know, self-help videos. So sometimes I have to be my own coach. I'll be like, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? You know, what did I do? what lesson did I learn from this? You know, why am I doing this? Feeling how I'm feeling. How can I solve it? Now, what have I learned from this? Now, how can I not repeat it again? So I sometimes self-coach myself, but some people who are not strong enough to self-coach themselves, you can actually get a coach, somebody you can talk to. You know, and I think it also start with talk to people who can lift up your spirit. You know, not people who bring you down. So you talk about it, you read about it. There are people that have been in similar situations, you know, and have found strength. They've converted their grass into grace, you know. So I just get information basically, and then I don't, you know, sometimes I allow myself to be there, and just be there.
I think that's also important.
Yes.
You need to be able to feel your feelings, because from experience, when I don't, I see it's like a boomerang. It comes back until you address that pain.
Yes, exactly. So I feel it. I cry as much as I want to. I look into the mirror. I tell myself I'm bad, I'm this and that. Then after that, I purge myself out literally. And after that, I pick up myself. I refresh myself. I go get ice cream. I step out. I look good. You know, I talk to a friend about it. I watch videos. You know, I tell myself I can. I affirm to myself. You know,
so you like words of affirmation like I do?
Oh yes, of course I do. Who doesn't?
So, I've had a couple guests. I mentioned words of affirmation and she was like, what's that? What she does is, once she's faced with a problem, once she has issues that she's dealing with, guess what she does?
What?
Sleep.
So, but does it solve the issue though? Does it?
Apparently it works for her. I believe that words of affirmation are very important and they work because you're speaking with your own voice to yourself. You're listening to yourself speak life into yourself and not someone else's opinion or what someone thinks about you or somebody else's advice. This is you speaking life to yourself. So words of affirmation is it for me.
Yes, and it feels good because when you say it, you're imagining it, you're thinking it, you're living it. You know, when people say, "Oh, I am beautiful," and I'm not saying you're looking at yourself physically and saying you're beautiful. You're looking at your past, you're looking at your future, you're looking at all the pain you've been through, and you're just telling yourself you're beautiful anyways. You know, you're looking at all the scars, you're looking at how they jilted you, you're looking at all the no's, and you're still telling yourself, I'm okay, I'm going to come out on top. And sometimes I look at other people who have done well and say, okay, if Funke Akindele can do it, I can. You know, if Oprah can do it, I can. If this woman can do it. Sometimes you even look at yourself and say, okay, maybe I need to get in a relationship. Then you see somebody random on social media in a relationship, like, if this person, as bad as they are, they can get into a relationship. My dear, I can get into a relationship too. So yeah, it's really not that bad. But our minds actually, you know, sometimes escalate these things to make it look bigger than they are. You know, and for people who are overthinkers like myself, it can be really, really crazy because your head keeps spinning. You know, over and over again. You keep thinking of,
once you start, the problem can be like this. You keep thinking, it becomes something else.
Exactly.
Wow. So speaking of relationships, so let's get in a little bit with the dating life in Lagos.
Okay.
You need to be mentally strong to date in Lagos. So what would be your advice to young women out there?
Shine your eye. Shine your eye, oh. Hey, Lagos dating is not for the faint-hearted, my dear. Open your eye like this. The thing is, for me, when I came to Lagos, I was very, very naive. So I wore my heart on the sleeve. You know, I was open-hearted. You know, I would share you. If I meet you now, I can start telling you everything I've been through, my past relationships. Number one, don't start when you meet somebody new. Don't start to talk about all the no's, all your life history. You know, you have to get to know them a bit more before you even share one. Make sure you've heard two or three. I used to tell my sister that before you can share one, make sure you've heard 2 or 3 secrets from them. You know. Before you want to share 4, make sure you've had 8 or 10 secrets. You know, so in Lagos here, dating life is crazy, but But it's possible, because irrespective of it, people are finding love, people are getting married, you know, people are traveling abroad, people are living their lives and all that. But it's crazy. Don't talk too much. You know, don't trust too easily. You know, get to know someone. Some people just know people and just, you know, trust them. When somebody starts to say, follow me, come home, come to my house, I ask them, how long have I known you for me to come to your house? Can't we meet outside? Come to my house, come over. What should I come over and do? You know? So yeah, I think some people rush into things when it comes to relationship. They jump. And it's because of all the feelings, you know, that come with it, the butterflies. But sometimes shush those butterflies, you know. You know, get information, you know, get to know this person, and maybe it won't be that bad.
So, Debra, we're rounding down or rounding up now. So I want you to speak to my viewers, speak to whoever is listening to us today. What would be your best advice to anyone who is listening concerning managing their mental space and managing their emotions?
To manage your emotions and your mental space, first you need to be like in control. You need to feel like you're in control, you know, of your life, of your situation, of your space, basically. And sometimes when you look at the world around you, sometimes you can't control. You need to know what you can control and what you can't control. So personally, I look at my space and say, okay, see, this thing that happened, could I have controlled it? Yes. Am I human? Do I make mistakes? Yes. Would I repeat myself again? No. What did I learn from this situation? I learned this and this and this, and I move on from it, right? Could I have controlled the situation? If you couldn't have controlled the situation, then why are you blaming yourself? I think sometimes we put a lot of heavy burden on ourselves, and that's why Christianity for some people is like solace, because you start to hear a part of the Bible that says, oh, come to me with your heavy burden and I will give you rest. My dear, even as a person who is not religious and all, dump those burdens, because you're the one that chose to carry them at the end of the day. Some burdens you've carried, you put on yourself by yourself. You know, some was, you know, dumped on you, but you don't have to carry them. So you have the choice. There's a power of choice. There's a power of, you know, you have power in this situation. So do not feel powerless. Guard yourself, guard your emotions. Know that you're in control. You know, read books, read self-help books. If you don't like reading books, listen to audio messages. There are people, there's self-help books and things to listen out there. Videos. If you don't like listening to videos, you know, videos. Listen to people's stories. Watch people's story and stay away from the news sometimes. The news is sometimes filled with bad news.
Is it just the news or social media?
And social media, I know, trust me, social media today, I was thinking about it, that social media is it's becoming a bit more crazy. I feel like maybe it should be regulated, you know, but that's a conversation for another day.
Thank you so much, Debra, for sharing your journey with us, sharing your stories with us. And again, like I would always say, this is a safe space. The Bodied and Mindful is a safe space for you. So don't forget to subscribe to the Bodied and Mindful on YouTube. Don't forget to comment and share your stories with the hashtag the Bodied and Mindful. So till next time, stay bodied and mindful.
Stay bodied and mindful.